Kaieteur Radio, keeping you informed.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Burbies 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.
Good day, welcome to your news at noon on Kaieteur Radio. I'm Kevin Smith. Let's get to the news in detail. The Inter-American Development Bank believes its latest $160 million line of credit to help Guyana strengthen its healthcare network is more than justified, especially when one takes into account the findings of a 2022 national assessment of 330 health facilities. The IDB, in one of its loan documents, said the survey found that many of the facilities require infrastructure rehabilitation, construction and/or upgrade and equipment replacement or provision. The financial institution said 20% of the buildings had no electricity and only 60% of buildings received water continuously during operating hours. In addition, 94% of the facilities did not receive treatment, that should be treated water. And regarding structural, architectural, and operational integrity, 24% of the buildings were judged to require immediate rehabilitation. Meanwhile, given the unsatisfactory handling of the local oil and gas sector by government and their continued posture in not negotiating the lopsided 2016 PSA, it has with ExxonMobil and partners, local stakeholders are calling on the government to make public as soon as possible the contents of any new PSA to ensure better returns for Guyana. The need for the early release of the document is especially important as Guyana is heading to its first bid round for available oil blocks, which are expected to be auctioned off by year-end, and with the possibility of a national oil spill company being formed to play a role in that regard. Economist and youth policy advisor to Office of the Opposition Leader, Elson Lowe, has thus contended that preparatory works are set for the auctioning of the country's available oil blocks. Government should begin engaging the public on what will and should be provided in any new PSA to not only give citizens a say, but to ensure better returns in country from the nascent industry. And in other news, amid pressure from transparency activists on the release of data relating to oil production here, the Ministry of Natural Resources has made it clear that an existing portal is in place that publishes the quantity of oil produced. Minister Vikram Bharat, who is responsible for the sector, had promised to have his staff share the reports. Yesterday, a link to the website was shared with Kaieteur. It was explained as well that the portal was launched in the first quarter of 2021 under the Petroleum Management Program. This was not known to the media and other stakeholders. Notably, the website offers data regarding the number of barrels produced at the Liza 1 and 2 operations in the Stabroek block, as well as the daily report injected gas. Flared and that should be the daily injected gas flared and gas used for fuel. It also gives an overview of the Brent crude prices and the amount of water produced and injected. And now let's tell you, with over 42,000 cases detected in 95 countries, Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony on Monday confirmed that Guyana recorded its first monkeypox case over the weekend. The minister, in a brief interview yesterday, said that the country's first case is a Region 4 man in his 50s who has since been placed in isolation at the Ocean View Hospital. Minister explained that persons who the patient has been in contact with are now quarantined. With the first case detected, the minister noted that they are taking all necessary measures and advised the general public to not panic. And just before we head to a short break, let's tell you that amid growing calls for an independent and international investigation into the allegations of cover-up into the murder of businessman Ricardo Papershorts Fagundes, President Ali on Monday announced that the Barbados headquartered regional security system has been asked to review the probe thus far. Earlier this year, member countries of the regional security system, or RSS, agreed to sign a protocol that would see Guyana's accession. You're listening to Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 and 99.5 FM. This is your News at Noon. I'm Kevin Smith. We'll return shortly after the break.
This is GHK Lal inviting you to join me weekdays from Monday to Friday on the National Outlook for commentary on a range of issues, immediately after the 12 noon and 7 p.m. newscasts on Kaieteur Radio at 99.1 FM and 99.5 FM. Looking forward to you sharing in the conversation.
Welcome back to your News at Noon. The International Decade for People of African Descent Assembly, Guyana, has refuted claims by Vice President Barra Jagdeo that the organization's leaders have been pocketing state funds to support Afro-Guyanese, and is adamant the statesman is being misleading about the agency's spending, given that the administration would have launched an investigation into the organization's affairs just a year ago. Jagdeo had alleged that the agency's board of directors were personally benefiting from an almost $500 million state allocation, and singled out the agency's chairman, Vincent Alexander, as one of the beneficiaries who have done little to nothing for Afro-Guyanese. And following competitive bidding for the contract to construct a new 4-lane highway from Schoonard to Crane, a project estimated at $10.5 billion, 8 contractors have been selected to execute the works. VR Construction were awarded the contract on August 15th to the total sum of $11.8 billion. Meanwhile, GCOM on Monday commenced its claims and objections exercise to produce an official list of electors. During the claims and objections period, any person who will be 18 years and older by the 31st of October 2022 and is a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, or naturalization, or a citizen of a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for more than 1 year or a year can make a claim or before September 11th to be included on the list, providing that he or she was never previously registered. And now at this time we move on to the page 7 of today's Kaieteur News, dedicated to being blunt. And then we move on to the National Outlook with GHK Lal. Now to monkeypox. With Guyana recording its first case of monkeypox, citizens have begun to worry about its possible spread. Here are a few facts about the disease. The manifestation of monkeypox typically includes fever, intense headache, muscle aches, back pain, low energy, swollen lymph nodes, and a skin rash or lesions. The rash usually begins within 1 or 3 days of the start of a fever. Lesions can be flat or slightly raised, filled with clear or yellowish fluid, and can then crust, dry up, and fall off. The number of lesions on one person can range from a few to several thousand. The rash tends to be concentrated on the face, palms of the hand, and soles of the feet. They can also be found in the mouth, genitals, and eyes. Symptoms typically last between 2 to 4 weeks and go away on their own without treatment. If you think you have symptoms that could be monkeypox, seek advice from your healthcare provider. Let them know if you have had close contact with someone who has suspected or confirmed monkeypox. And that brings us to the end of today's News at Noon. I'm Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today and watch your dollar grow. Call us on 225-8465 or 226-8210 today.